Hello and welcome to Transfermarkt TV. My name is Stefan Binkowski, he's Manuel Veth, and today we are talking about another MLS star who is making his way across the waves to Europe. Manu, we're of course talking about Brenner. You broke the news late last month, rather, I should say, on his €10 million move to Udinese. He's a young Brazilian forward. For people who haven't been following MLS, maybe we have some Udinese fans watching the channel for the first time. Why don't you let us know who is this kid, how good is he, and what can Udinese fans expect next season?
Yeah, he's a really interesting player. Obviously, Cincinnati bought him in 2021 for $30 million, which was a record fee for the club at the time, and is one of the most expensive transfers in MLS history. Period. Right. He then took some time to adapt to Major League Soccer, which of course could be expected when you are a young player who hadn't had many first team minutes from Sao Paulo, where he was signed from. Um, Ended up the first season with just 8 goals, and some people were already concerned that he could maybe be a very expensive transfer flop. Then last year he burst onto the scene, scored 18 goals and 6 assists in 29 games, regular season games, formed a really great partnership with Brandon Vasquez, the young American striker who has been recently linked with a move to Borussia Mönchengladbach in the Bundesliga, right? And so, obviously because of that, people took note, and Udinese will have a very strong history with signing South Americans and developing them. Some names that come to mind is, the biggest one maybe is Mauricio Amoroso, right, who made some headlines with Borussia Dortmund, but also played some times in Italy with some big clubs. So they, of course, jumped on this and, yeah, signed him for 10 million euros.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the kind of interesting
Hmm.
thing, that not only do we have Udinese spending quite a lot of money on this kind of
Yeah.
relatively unknown talent, but eagle-eyed readers of Transfermarkt will probably see in his transfer history page that Cincinnati are technically making a loss.
Yeah.
They signed him from Sao Paulo from 11.82 million
Yeah.
euros. They sell him for 10 million a few seasons later. What's going on there? Is this just a simple case that they couldn't make their money back, or is there something else to
Yeah,
it?
it's multifaceted. First of all, Brenner was signed by a previous regime. So, and there was a sense at the time that maybe they did overspend. He never reached the market value on our page. From the fee that was paid never really reflected his real market value. I think the highest we had him was at 9 million. He's currently at 8 million, right? That's probably going to go up now because of the fee that was paid. But when the regime got changed to the current regime and the club finally did turn things around because they had some very complicated years in MLS, there was a sense that they have to cash in on some of these players. And then Udinese came in January with an offer that was way lower than this offer. They rejected that offer. Brenner then was very unhappy, pushing for a move. And so they went back to the negotiation table. And essentially what they came up with was a $11 million offer, or 10 million euros, right? Which is on paper below of the fee that they paid to Sao Paulo. Now, what is in this contract is add-ons, and there is a sell-on clause. So Cincinnati are essentially banking on Brenner doing really well in Italy, and that Udinese will eventually sell him on to another club, and then they would receive about 20% of any future transfer fee. So I think really what they're trying to do is they realize that they probably overpaid in the first place, even though he's a really good player, and that this was the maximum they were going to get at this stage. So it's kind of cutting your losses while also hoping and banking on Brenner's future, which could work out. Udinese is a club that's playing in the marketplace in Serie A where players get sold for a lot of money. So they might actually come out on top of here.
Yeah, so I guess we have Udinese and Cincinnati fans hoping that he works out at
Yeah.
Serie A. Before we wrap this up, I have to ask you, do you think he'll work at Serie A? Do you think he'll be a success in Italian football?
I think so. I mean, the leagues are very similar in terms of the open goal scoring that you have. Serie A has a really terrible reputation that people don't score a lot of goals there, right? Because it's Italy, which is not true. In fact, a couple of years ago, Serie A was the highest scoring league, ahead of the Bundesliga in European football, and it is right up there every season now. So this idea and thinking that it is a league where people don't score a lot of goals, that it's a league of catenaccio of defending. that is kind of not true anymore. And so it is actually maybe a competition that would suit him quite well. Udinese is a quiet place, right? It is not one of the big teams. It's a club that focuses on talent development. They will want to sell him with a profit. So I think are going to give him an environment in which he can succeed.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, obviously, fans of Udinese and Cincinnati can keep track of everything Brenner does next season on Transfermarkt, on his performance page, and of course, all the transfers that go through this summer. So please do keep on touch of that and continue to follow and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And until next time, we'll speak to you soon. Cheers and bye bye.